All right, so today we're talking about the 7 steps to producing lead generating videos. Okay, so we'll jump right into it. So step number 1 is knowing who your customer avatar or your buyer persona is. So that's a little bit of marketing speak that basically means really understanding who your customer is and some of the things they're looking for. And so I'll go ahead and give an example. I know that most of these videos are primarily related to the AV space, so I'll give an example of exactly what I mean. So let's say that you are a systems integrator. One of your customer avatars, one of your buyer personas would be maybe you have a university customer and they are looking to build out a brand new space, or they're looking to remodel a space. And so with that university client that you have, there's most likely several buyer personas or several of your ideal customers that are at that one facility or with that client. So the first one, let's say, is the end user. So the end user may be the professor that is teaching the classroom, teaching the coursework in one of the classrooms or in one of the auditoriums. And so you need to understand what is it that professor's needs are. Maybe that professor needs a system to help him utilize the room easier. Maybe the system that he has is just cobbled together. Functionality is there, but maybe operation is a little convoluted to him in getting the systems to do exactly what he needs to effectively teach the class. So the professor would be one buyer persona. Maybe the next buyer persona would be the AV technician that's on site, or one of the AV technicians that are on site there at the university. And maybe their job is to actually make sure that all the classrooms are functioning properly. And so they actually have to go in when they get a call from one of the professors or instructors that may be having a problem, or maybe their job is to help set up rooms for video conferencing and to make sure that those go off without a hitch. And so that would be buyer persona that you would definitely want to consider, because that person has different needs than the professor. That person's needs are, that person's primary role may be to make sure that all the classrooms function properly, so that the professors can be effective in doing what they need to do, which translates into the students learning is learning in the best manner possible. And so that's a buyer persona. Another buyer persona may be the IT director. The IT director is over the technician, over the department, let's say, and their responsibility is not only for departmental management, but also maybe they have some input with budgeting. So you need to be sensitive to that and what their needs are. Whereas the technician may have some input with actual equipment specs or equipment that's being spec'd out for a particular space. So that's something you want to look at as well. Another buyer persona at the same university may be a department head. Maybe their budget is what's driving this project. Maybe the specific department has a particular budget, and so you need to be aware of that and what their needs are, and trying to stay within their budget, but give them the functionality that the end user needs, that the technician can manage, that the IT director can oversee, and that the department's that fits within the department's budget. And then sometimes it escalates up to as high as the provost, and maybe the provost at the university has some input because it's a large scale project. And so you'll certainly want, so that could certainly be a buyer persona for you. And then finally, just off the top of my head, thinking purchasing department. So the purchasing department, maybe they're putting together the RFP, maybe they're considering a design build based on the influence of the technician and the design director, but there are some requirements that purchasing has in place in order for you to land the project. And so that's something you want to definitely keep in mind, because that's also a buyer persona. So you can see right there, we've listed the end user, we've listed the technician, we've listed the IT director, we've listed the department head, and we've listed the provost, and then purchasing. So there you go. I mean, multiple buyer personas, at one location, and you need to be aware of who these people are, how they influence the decision process, what their needs are in that whole buying process from point A to point B. And then we want to create videos specific to those particular buyer personas. And so that's the first step in creating lead generation videos, is starting with the buyer personas.